The broken clock. 1. Saving 3.9 years of your life sounds like a victory, unless those 3.9 years were the only ones that felt like living. Marcus never missed a minute. Not once in 31 years. His calendar was a cathedral every hour consecrated. Every gap sealed, every transition timed to the length of an elevator ride. He had calculated once that the average person loses 4.3 years of their life to waiting, drifting, wandering without purpose. He had eliminated 3.9 of them. People admired this. They said things like, "I don't know how you do it." He took this as a compliment. He had not yet understood that the 0.4 years he failed to eliminate were the only part of his life that had ever surprised him. 2. The morning it began, he was running exactly on schedule. Breakfast 7 minutes. The car warming since 6:42. The report he needed to read preloaded, pre-highlighted, pre-digested into 3 bullet points by a service he paid $80 a month for. He had not read a full article in 4 years. There was no reason to. At the corner of Halsted and Monroe, a woman dropped an orange. It rolled into the street. She laughed a sharp, startled sound and looked up directly at him, as if he had been placed there specifically to witness her embarrassment. He looked away. He was already 3 seconds behind. He did not look back. But something in him registered the orange, its color, its role, its complete indifference to anyone's schedule. The way you register a word in a language you once knew and have since forgotten. 3. The clock stopped at 9:17 in the morning on a Tuesday. Not metaphorically, literally. The mechanism inside his grandfather's watch. The one object he had kept not for efficiency, but for a reason he could no longer name, simply ceased. He stood at his desk, holding it. The second hand pointed to the 4 and refused to move. He was annoyed. Then, without understanding why, he was something else. Quiet. He sat down. He did not open his laptop. For the first time in memory, he did not know what time it was. And because he did not know, he could not calculate how late he was. And because he could not calculate the system, his system, the perfect machine of his life, had no instructions to give him. He sat in the silence that opened up. It had the texture of something he recognized, but could not place the stillness of a library on a Sunday morning, the particular hush of a house after snow, something from before the calendar, something he had not felt since he was 9 years old, and had no idea what efficiency was, and had not yet learned to be ashamed of doing nothing. 4. He tried to remember the last time he had been bored, not frustrated, not impatient. Bored in the old sense, the childhood sense, where time moved like August, and the afternoon had no agenda, and you lay on the floor, doing nothing in particular, and the nothing felt full. He could not remember. He tried to remember the last time something had surprised him, not startled him. Surprised him the way the orange woman had surprised him, the way the world sometimes produced moments that were not in the plan, and were, because of that, somehow more real than the plan. Then he understood something that disturbed him more than he expected. Nothing unexpected had happened to him in years, not because the world had become predictable, because he had systematically removed everything that wasn't. He sat with the broken watch until noon. He knew it was noon because the light changed, not because he had checked. 5. That evening he found himself thinking about the route he had never taken. On his commute home Halsted to the expressway to exit 14 to his street, there was a road he passed every day, a left turn he had never made. He knew from the app that it added 7 minutes. He had never asked what was on it. He asked himself now for the first time what is on that road. He realized he had no answer. He realized he had no answer for most of the city he had lived in for 16 years. He had been through it every day. He had never been in it. The difference between those two things felt, suddenly, like the largest distance he had ever encountered. 6. The watch repairman was an old man who worked out of a narrow shop on a street the app did not recommend. He turned the watch over in his hands for a long time. "Do you want it to run perfectly?" he asked. "Yes," Marcus said, then stopped. "What's the alternative?" The old man set it on the counter. "I can fix it so it loses 30 seconds a week. Not enough to matter, but enough that you'll keep checking it. Keep wondering. Keep noticing time instead of just—" He gestured vaguely, spending it. Marcus did not answer immediately. This surprised him. He always answered immediately. He looked at the watch. He thought about the woman in the orange. He thought about the road to the left, the 7 minutes, the city he had never been inside. He thought about all the years he had not wasted, and what, precisely, he had saved them for. He thought about the silence at 9:17, and how it had felt against all logic, like something returning rather than something lost. "The second option," he said. The old man nodded as if this were also in the plan. 7. He took the long way home. It added 9 minutes, not 7. The app had been wrong about that, or the traffic had changed, or he had taken a wrong turn somewhere. He was not certain which. On that road there was a bakery, a woman sitting on a step reading something she found funny, because she laughed once, quietly, to herself. A dog asleep on a warm grate. A child pointing at something in the sky that Marcus could not see. An orange vendor on the corner, a crate of them stacked in the last of the afternoon light. None of it meant anything. All of it was real. He arrived home late. He noted the time on the newly imperfect watch and saw that it had already lost 11 seconds. He did not adjust it. The broken watch still sits on his desk. It loses exactly 31 seconds a week, slightly more than the repairman promised. He has not had it fixed. The error, he has decided, is the most accurate thing about it. The question this fable leaves with you: when you removed uncertainty from your life, systematically, carefully, one optimization at a time, what did you think you were protecting yourself from? And what, without ever deciding to, did you seal out?